Hey there, how there, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond with yet another Degrassi list. And like the one I love to do on the topic of Rick's 5 things he should or should not have done to save himself in the Degrassi timeline, shooting timeline, I've decided to do it based on other characters too. There will be 4 more in this block. The first block, the first one of the block is the 5 things that Rad should or should not have done to do with the Degrassi timeline. I know I've done a lot of videos based on him, but this is the way it goes. And by the way, this is not ranked. Like Rick's, it's not ranked. So here we go. First off is listen to the students' domestic violence concerns. In Mercy Street in season 4, he welcomes Rick back, shakes his hand. In a deleted scene that stability has not been shown, except online and in the box set, Marco and Alex, who were named student council president, vice president, respectively, decide to talk to Raditch because they're sickened with Rick coming back. Now, Raditch had the right idea. Like he had a point that with no criminal record and nobody to tell him about Rick, a reason why Rick should not have come back to Degrassi, he felt like he was compelled to do it. The incident happened off campus, but that's still what could have been huge because you got to remember that if a criminal charge was placed by Terry's dad towards Rick, or if Spinner and Paige did something about it, then Rick with credence would not be allowed back at Degrassi. Marco and Alex basically disagreed by Raditch's technique, thinking that Raditch is only doing it to bring the GPA up. But no, it's not. Alex, who obviously knows about domestic violence and all that firsthand because her mom always gets hit hard by that, says that it's what he does to a woman. You can't do that. Basically, Raditch doesn't believe him at all. I mean, the one thing he could have done in truth was basically allow Rick back, but put restrictions on Rick. And if Rick breaks the restriction, he's out the door. Second is not leave Rick high and dry. Basically, Raditch was protecting Rick and all that, and basically lambasting anyone who thinks that Rick should not come back to Degrassi. But unfortunately, time passes by and, Rick gets beat up by Spinner and crew. And basically, by the time that we see Raditch interact with Rick another time, is when Rick gets harassed by Spinner and Jimmy, put in a dumpster, then Rick decides to do something about it and spray paints the cars with the circle and the X on it. So basically, what ends up happening is that Rick bumps into Jimmy. Jimmy's put on the Wacky Brain team in place of Heather Sinclair, who contracts mono, and Rick wants Jimmy off the team because Jimmy's bothering him. Emma tells him to tell Simpson, but Rick refuses to. So he decides to go to Raditch because he knows that Raditch will help him out. Unfortunately, as I said in Rick, he should or should not have done it, was talk to the administration in a better role. Raditch took it as Rick saying, he just doesn't like me, and he pracked. And basically, Raditch says that, go back to me with something serious. I can't force you to make friends. So unfortunately, he mistook it. Now, you don't really have to blame him for that, but I think Raditch should have taken Rick a little more seriously, even if he's like, I don't want to help you right now. I'll investigate when I can. Then Rick would have had a lot of confidence in the administration. Number 3 is he should have listened to Simpson. I know he had feelings about Simpson that weren't good and all that. But Simpson was once a pupil of Raditch in the Degrassi Junior High / Degrassi High days. Simpson's the one who told Raditch about Claude's suicide. So practically what you have to do is a lot of things. But anyway, Simpson tries to get in Raditch's mind that Raditch basically is mishandling the Rick situation, even though Simpson was there when Raditch basically threw the book at Spinner and wants them to meet for a 3:30 talk, if you will. And of course, Simpson sees when Raditch tells Rick, you can go home, and Rick says, I gotta go to my locker. Raditch should have basically told Rick come back. I want you back here," or something like that. So basically, what ends up happening is that Simpson yells at him, saying that, "What's your plan?" And Raj says, "He can't do more harm. He can't do harm at home than he is here." And Simpson doesn't like that. And then basically, Raj says, "This is not preschool, and making friends is not part of the curriculum." So anyway, and then Simpson yells at Raj for like not having the hindsight when Raj says, "We need warning signs about Rick through emails." I mean, I know that the police probably told Raj to figure that out. Raj should have said, "Well, the police need to know," because I think Simpson would have been less furious at Raj. I mean, Simpson may have overreacted because Emma had a gun to her face, but I don't think so. So anyway, that's a big one. Number 4 is Raj should have kept track of Rick. Now I know it's kind of a strange topic, but I mean when Rick said, "Well, I gotta go to my locker," and Raj believes him, I think Raj is trying to protect the fact that Rick was right the whole time, and that he's going to cater to Rick's needs, and he's got the answers and all that. So practically, he should have just told the administration, "If you see Rick, kindly and gently let him out of the school," and all that, because he probably would have done it. And if he kept Rick out of the school, then Rick probably would not have shot anybody. But he still had the plot. But anyway, Radish probably could have saved himself some time. And, of course, the shooting would not have happened. And, of course, Bitter would have gotten the goose. And last but certainly not least, 5 things. He should never have been so punitive to people. One of his biggest flaws was not taking criticism well. As Vegan Sista said in one post, and I talked about this on April Fool's Day, said that basically Raj was just being punitive and was trying to save his own butt. That's fair. But Raj's way of thinking is as an 80s disciplinarian in the 2000s, because he didn't really come off as being sympathetic. Try as the writers did, they just couldn't make Raj sympathetic. I mean, season 2, he got mad at Emma and her GMO, genetically modified foods thing, and Emma was going to kneel down Raj, but when Raj did that cafeteria commercial, it sparked something in Emma, and Emma was upset. And of course, he blamed her for a food fight she didn't really start, basically by saying that Emma's flyers caused this. But no, it was just a freak accident, and Emma was trying to take Toby's food away, and chaos ensued. And Raj basically wanted Emma to basically apologize to him. Emma talks to Snake. Snake says, "As an educator, I can't really help you, but as a parent, I will help you." Basically, Emma apologizes for the food fight, but then she decides to get in Raj's face by saying that, "I will give up my genetically modified food thing for free speech," and basically pisses Raj off. In season 3, he gives people Saturday detention when in fact he should have just given detention for school days and all that. Why Saturday detention? It doesn't make sense. And Snake sets Raj straight. But anyway, Raj's problem was that he didn't take criticism well, especially when Emma tripped Rick in the hallway in Mercy Street. Emma coldly just told him, "We don't want him at the school. Nobody does." And he basically says, "That's enough of that. It's not one of your stupid causes. Domestic violence is not a silly cause." So basically, he was upset. I think he was kind of upset that Emma's Orange Ribbon campaign could have been in revenge of him. And he should have known that you don't tick Emma off, because Emma will get at you. And she won't apologize. Now, basically, he didn't take Snake's criticism well, even though Snake was trying to help out. And especially the aftermath with Dracula and all that. Fair enough, Dracula was a gory show. And, with the shooting and all that, I can understand it. But Radish should have said, "Well, right now we have to postpone it." And I think Liberty and JT would have understood. But basically told Liberty and JT, "We need a musical instead of a gory play about Dracula." Liberty and JT take him to task over a song. And it's obvious that Radish is basically upset at things and told the drama club, "Don't say anything bad about me or you'll get expelled." They kind of figured that he was in a foul mood. So basically, he was mad at Liberty and JT. He gave him Monday detention because they had the gall to call him out. Next day, he's out the door. The school board decided enough was enough. And I think basically it was a comedy of errors for Raditch, basically with him not protecting Rick when he had to, basically threatening students with expulsion and all that. Yeah, he was trying to save his own bacon, but he just tipped off the students. No confidence vote, and Raditch basically went out the door with not so much as a whimper. And basically, the constructive criticism always bit him in the butt. People would say, hey, you should do this one thing or the other thing. And, Raditch wouldn't believe it. It's hard to say what happened after he got tossed, like what happened to him, because obviously we don't hear anything about him or see him after that time. And I know Dan Wood's probably wanted out of the show, but his character deserved a better fate. So basically, that's all for this video. There'll be 3 more coming up in the meantime. Hey there, hello there. It's Jeff Cutter Historical Diamond. The previous video was recorded on Saturday, July the 20th, with the voice commentary on the 5 things about Raditch should or should not have done. This is a correction video that I completely did not talk about the aftermath, and he should have done better with the aftermath. Instead, you can take out the reason about him trying to like see where Rick is and all that. So basically, I'm going to explain that the problem, the fact of the matter is that he should have done better with the aftermath, because he had Spinner right in his sights, and Spinner was going to probably spill the beans about the paint and feathers prank. And of course, the shooting happened, and it seemed that Raditch didn't really pay attention to the fact that Spinner, he was going to have a talk with Spinner and all that. The shooting kind of saved Spinner's bacon a little bit, but it bit Spinner in the end. But in the long run, Raditch should have basically gone after Spinner for the paint and feather thing. Spinner probably would have spilled the beans and all that. And basically, the aftermath, you can tie it towards the constructive criticism, but he should have at least postponed Dracula and said that we can't go on with it. Or basically try to talk to Liberty and JT, says that, do you think student body should do this, or should we do something else? So basically, he wanted to do it his way. And basically, he was just trying to protect his own bacon because of what happened with the paint and feathers thing. So yeah, so I apologize for missing that point, but that's just me adding on to what's been happening. So thanks for understanding.